And I am digital certified meteorologist Irene Sands. We continue to monitor Nate because even though it's not going to impact us here in Central Florida directly, we can still expect a few rain bands pushing in our way just in time for the weekend. Now, our friends across the northern coast of the Gulf of Mexico, these are the states across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and northern Florida, they will be getting lots of impacts during the next 24 to 36 hours, even extending all the way northward towards the Appalachians. Now, let's take a look at what's happening because we have noticed that Nate has become much better organized. By the time it was in Nicaragua and Honduras, Nate was just a complete mess. Now, there are lots of clouds covering much of the Caribbean at this point, at least the Western Caribbean, and all these clouds will start to move to the north. We can expect mostly cloudy skies due to Nate. The watches and the warnings in place, well, there is a tropical storm warning in effect across regions of western Cuba, across regions of eastern Yucatan, and of course across parts of Louisiana where they have been under a hurricane warning for the past few hours, and this will continue at least for another 24 to 36 hours. Nate is currently at 65 miles per hour. This is a tropical storm, but anytime now, the National Hurricane Center might be intensifying this storm to a Category 1 hurricane. We are expecting Nate to continue to intensify, but it's not going to become a major storm. But we can still expect the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico to interact and to feed this storm, bringing it to a Category 1 hurricane. Now, it will be making landfall across the parts anywhere between New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama, and this brings lots and lots of worries across this region. Why? Because the storm surge. We know that Nate is moving fast. By the time it was in Nicaragua, it was barely moving at 10 miles per hour. Now it's up to 21 miles per hour, and the speed is expected to increase during the next few hours. This only adds to the storm surge across the regions of the Mississippi River, the mouth of the Mississippi River, extending all the way east towards Destin, Florida. We are expecting storm surge that will be very significant. First, let's talk about the future rainfall. Rainfall across parts of western Cuba, of course, it will be higher. Why? Because most of its convection, it's to the right of the storm. This storm will be messy. This storm, most of the convection will remain focused to the east. This is not quite going to be a symmetrical storm as we have seen during the last few storms. That's why Cuba will be receiving over 4 to 5 inches of rain. Now, across parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, we're talking about rainfall that could reach isolated 12 inches. And what worries me the most is the storm surge. Why? Because the forward speed. The Gulf of Mexico is not that deep. Therefore, it's easier to bring water and to push water into the Mississippi River and even across parts of northern Florida. All the residents across this region are already taking precautions, and if you have friends in this area, you have to tell them to please pay attention to authorities, and if they are ordered to evacuate, please do so. Across parts of Florida, the storm surge might extend all the way getting closer to Cedar Key. And of course, here, not as big of a storm surge across as in Mobile, Alabama, for example, but we can still expect anywhere between 2 to 4 feet. So I was saying the storm surge across the mouth of the Mississippi River will be substantial, and the rainfall extending all the way northward across parts of the Ohio Valley also will be rather substantial. Why? Because we have a very dry air pocket coming into the southwestern United States. I see this right here, and it just gives me a static shock because it's very dry air, and all this is pushing towards the east. We also have a high pressure system, and the high pressure system is what's basically guiding Nate all the way to the north. But as we push this dry air and this basically sort of trough going into the western region of the United States, it's just going to keep all of Nate's convection, the big convection, to the east. And this is why also Nate is moving rather fast. Now let's take a look, because the water vapor is in the upper levels of the atmosphere. In the lower levels of the atmosphere, we have a front. The front is also pushing to the east. And this is what's also pushing Nate to the north, and then by this Sunday to the northeast. Check out all that rain. The Ohio Valley will be getting rain first due to the front, and then due to Nate. So the remnants of Nate will continue to travel towards the northeast. For us, we can expect a few rain bands arriving to Central Florida by Saturday afternoon. You saw that right there? Let me rewind it for you. The rain bands will start to move. We will remain under mostly cloudy skies, and then storms, few lightning strikes, of course. And you can please make sure that if you have any plans to do activities outdoors, make sure you have a plan B, because the storms will be moving in fast, but some of these storms might be dropping anywhere between 2 to 4 inches across regions of Central Florida. And of course, we do not know exactly where these rain bands will be setting up. On Sunday, expect a similar pattern, but the showers will be coming mainly from the south. And of course, if you haven't yet done so, please download our free WFTV weather app. You can get weather updates there. If we are under any type of warning, flood warning, any type of coastal warning, if you live around the coast, you will receive alerts right there. And of course, if you have any questions, make sure you can follow us on Facebook. We are always connected, and we will answer your questions as soon as we see them.